Hi everybody, it's Victoria. Long time no see. So some of you have sent me questions about content in English, and as promised, I'm going to answer some of the best ones today. So the first question that I picked out was sent by Andrew. So Andrew said, do Americans really know that the text was not written by a native speaker? Does it matter to them? Do accents in web content matter to you personally at all? Or, if it's cool and interesting, can you forgive some imperfect points? Okay, so the most important thing, first and foremost, is to present your audience with informative text, right? With real value. That should always come first. But let's say that you are producing content for a very competitive niche, right? So if that's the case, then the details really play a crucial role. So up here at the top, we have informative text, and then underneath, under the umbrella, there are all of these little details that must be covered. So the quality of the text, the intonation, using interesting turns of phrase, producing good graphics, that kind of thing. Speaking of graphics and forms of multimedia, we at Contentim always emphasize using a consistent style in materials. So, for instance, you wouldn't want to have an academic text that's very dry, very concise, and then you have cheerful, cartoonish illustrations, right? It kind of makes this cognitive dissonance, if you will, that makes the reader just kind of want to click away from that and find something with a more consistent tone. Anyway, I kind of veered a little off topic, but the next question, let's do this one from Margarita. So Margarita asks, what blogs can you yourself recommend to develop a neat flair for English? I want to get a better feel for the style of the language and understand the quality of the text. Okay, so if you have a true dedication to your English studies and you are willing to put forth not just time, but also money and make a real investment, I would recommend getting a tutor, or at the very least, if not a fully fledged tutor, then just someone who you can converse with in English regularly. And it helps if they are a native speaker. But if you're looking for something to read rather than hiring a tutor, there's a website called PhraseMix. So PhraseMix is a pretty good resource for getting a more intuitive understanding of turns of phrase, and they have a decent amount of free material. There's also some courses you can sign up for, but last time I checked the website, they had a free tab up in the menu with like lots of lessons. And we have time. I'll give you one more resource. I recommended this to a lot of my previous students. It's called Purdue OWL. OWL stands for the Online Writing Lab. So it has some great breakdowns of English stylistics, mechanics, grammar, and lots more besides that. Okay, and one more question. I think we have time. Let's do Vlad's. Vlad says, what do you think will be the major trends in web content next year? Your editorial team writes so many text content. Surely you can predict something for us. Okay, so we do work with our editorial team on hundreds of projects, from real estate and fashion to trading expertise and IT development. So it's varied. I was going to say very varied. But if we're listing one single trend that all of these industries have in common. So during the pandemic, people have had more time on their hands and they're spending more time consuming media. Like the amount of time we're spending online has skyrocketed, right? And people are beginning to read more in-depth blog materials. I've noticed that content is no longer being consumed on the go, right? Because when we're stuck at home, we don't need to read something that's condensed into, 3 sentences that you can read in 10 seconds, right? We have time for longer texts. Because of this, many company web portals are becoming almost fully fledged magazines, right? And sometimes even analogous to the media. So I would bet on the trend of quality rather than quantity. So don't prepare materials too quickly. Rather, the entire editorial board should be involved in the project, and then you can bring in an expert in the niche to bring the text to perfection. This is really important, and we've learned from experience that in the long run, it attracts higher quality clients. All right, this video is a little longer than I intended, so I won't keep you any longer, but I wanted to wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of our subscribers. I will be back in 2021, and I'm looking forward to answering more of your questions.